Hey, what is up guys, MKBHD here, and no good tech collection or setup is complete without addressing audio. Now it's pretty easy to just go with the tame, easy stuff in the audio department, but there is some pretty crazy stuff out there, and it can be just as fun to go with that. So this is Dope Tech Speakers. Alright, so first things first, yes, this is a hovering speaker. This is called the Mars by Crazy Baby. Weird name, yes, and a weird overall speaker. As you can see, it floats. There are some other actual floating speakers on the market, but I picked this one because I think it's number one, the best looking, and also number two, it's actually the most functional. This one's a two-part Bluetooth speaker, so the bottom half is a subwoofer and the top half is the tweeter. And the main claim to fame, besides the floating, is that it produces that 360-degree sound in a circle. So it sounds about the same no matter what angle you're listening to it from. Mostly because the subwoofer seems to fire straight down and the tweeter fires your sound straight up. But there's no denying the wow factor of a floating speaker. The bass has magnets in it, and it's pretty easy to set up and use. You just get the disc in place and power it up, and after a few seconds, the magnets inside the base move up and push the disc into the air in a pretty sweet balancing act. The whole thing is completely wireless too, so it runs on battery power for about 8 hours at a time and connects to whatever device, phone, or tablet you want. Plus, it has its own app to wirelessly control raising and lowering the disc speaker from anywhere. It has two USB ports on the front as well, so you can charge your phone from the built-in battery, and it has a mic built in, so I guess this can be the ultimate meeting room utility for that 360-degree conference call if your boss is cool enough to let you get one of these. If you want to know how they sound, you should check out my buddy John's video on the TLD channel, where he has a whole video all about these dedicated to how they work and what they're like to own. I will link that one right below that like button. Now, audio is always a part of the desk setup too, you can't ignore that, and these red speakers here are called the Monroe Sonic Egg 100s. Yes, they're literally called eggs. And they might look familiar from my last video, the top 5 upcoming tech, or if you've seen it, from the Dream Desk 2. These are obviously some pretty unique speakers, and I gotta say, they're striking both aesthetically in the way they look and sonically. They look cool and they sound cool. I'm pretty sure you won't find any other pair of speakers that can accent a setup as well as these. Now, they have a 100mm woofer on the bottom for your lows and mids, and a 25mm driver up top for your highs, and they're overall like really well built quality as a set of speakers. But these aren't just your normal set of studio monitors. Most monitors you have at this level, including the ones on my current setup, have amplifiers inside of them, meaning they're internally amplified. These eggs are not. The inside is literally just the speaker drivers and electronics, so they're actually pretty lightweight, and then they come in the box with their own dedicated amp that goes on the desk next to them, designed specifically to work best with the speakers. So custom cables, custom preamps, custom everything. There's a high frequency adjustment and low frequency adjustment for each channel on the amp. And this is where the magic happens, and they make it sound so good. And I'm not just saying that, like during the Dream Desk setup, we were really cranking them and they sounded very good. They also have these sound isolating rubber pads to keep them still, and that lets you actually point them whatever direction you want. You just kind of prop it up on the rest, and they're called egg nests, so that's brilliant. And overall, as a package, these eggs are some of the most unique I've seen as far as desktop audio solutions go, and they almost tempted me away from my current Yamahas. I mean, almost. Alright, last up is this little beast. This is called the Devialet Phantom, and it is an absolute powerhouse of a speaker. So the Phantom's main claim to fame is simple. As much power as you can possibly handle coming in a tightly packaged package. It's about the size of a watermelon. 3,000 watts, 105 decibels, zero distortion. I mean, it claims zero distortion. I'm not sure if I can vouch for that one, but I can definitely say this thing gets loud. It's also pretty unique to look at too. It's sitting in the middle of a room, kind of has this odd shape to it, almost like a teardrop silhouette, or maybe like an alien head. And of course, it'll turn heads when you see it playing music because the woofers on either side move a lot. The smallest driver is the one on the end with the grill over it. That's the tweeter. And then the mid-sized driver is actually the ring that surrounds it. That's a driver. And then the woofers are on either side firing outwards, and these two move a lot of air. Overall, it's definitely got this directional sound to it, so I'd almost opt to put it in the corner of a room and just let it fill the space with your beats, but it still works in the middle of a room. You can sort of bounce the sound off a wall. Now, the Phantom is also a wireless speaker, but with a little more emphasis on quality, as it should for the price. So it does still have a power cable, no battery. And then it has its own app called Spark for iPhone or Android or whatever you use for the setup and organization, but you can still use it just like any other Bluetooth speaker if you want. And yeah, this thing just gets ridiculously loud. And I'll be honest, I haven't even heard it at full volume yet because I live in an apartment with other people, and even at 2/3 volume, it's more than loud enough to get a noise complaint, which is funny because I hear lots of noise from my neighbors. Anyway, there you have it. There's some dope tech in the audio department. But wait, bonus item. This is something I've gotten questions about like nonstop on Twitter and YouTube comment sections for the past couple months. Not my daily driver or anything equipment related, but it's what was that light up lightning cable in my iPhone 6s review. So this is it, and it's also gonna be linked below. It comes in a few different colors, and it even has a little sort of box at the end controlling the firmware on the USB end, so the lights move a little bit faster when your phone's almost empty, and they actually slow down the lights when your charge is almost done. Pretty dope. That's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.